Hi, I'm Milla and welcome to another Milla's Game Room video. This one is a top 10 of my favourite Nintendo 3DS games as of April 2023. This list is of course subject to change, but 3DS eShop is closed. I'm reminiscing, so I'm doing another list now, especially because I've done lists already for the Switch and the Vita. I'll link those. Check those out as well, even though the Switch one's already outdated at this point, but that's besides the point. So I've got 10 games physically in front of me. They are what form my list. I've got a bunch behind me. You can consider these all honourable mentions. They are of various genres, mostly RPG, because, well, I play RPGs predominantly. That's literally like what I play, especially on the 3DS, because Nintendo platforms are just not known for their visual novels, which is unfortunate. Even though, fun fact, 3DS got plenty of Japanese exclusive VNs, which maybe I'll make a video on that. Let me know. So anyway, let's start with number 10, and that's Super Mario 3D Land. I don't think I need to explain what game this is. Like, you all know what this game is, especially if you have a 3DS. Mario platformer, the 3D Mario system seller. This one basically emulates the 2D RPGs in terms of gameplay and just puts it in a 3D plane, which I say emulate, but that does it a disservice. It's really, really well done. Really nice hybrid. It's got quite a short runtime, but if you do all the extra content, especially the special worlds, it's great, and I do recommend this one. It's also one of the cheapest 3DS games available, so I highly recommend this one. Coming at number 9 is a game I played a lot as, well, growing up, and obviously nowadays is fairly redundant because it's now imported to every platform under the sun, even Epic Game Store if that counts as a platform, and that's Kingdom Hearts 3D Dream Drop Distance. Now, this was my first Kingdom Hearts game. Yeah, I know I made a massive mistake doing that because I got lost. But what I loved about this was the action gameplay, the flow motion that you saw in Kingdom Hearts 3 was first introduced in this game, as well as the introduction of like the Hunchback of Notre Dame, which was a really cool film, Tron Legacy, and some other worlds, and the Mickey, Donald, Goofy, Three Musketeers world. That was such an underrated world. And then of course you got the overarching story, which still doesn't make any sense, but I really like the drop mechanic and the two perspectives, and just seeing how it tied into the story to earn the mark of mastery, which yeah, nowadays if you're going to play this game, which I highly recommend, I would suggest getting it on PS4, Xbox, PC, not Switch because it's cloud shit, but otherwise, yeah, great game, can't recommend it enough. Number 8 is a platformer game, which I also really enjoy and I highly recommend, and that's Kirby Planet Robobots. It's basically your typical Kirby game, but with an extra emphasis on metal, robotics, and, well, being able to power up in your mech, as you can see in this gorgeous box art here. And this is like considered to be the best Kirby game on the 3DS, and it's the best game for good reason. It's just got so much innovation, so much unique design, and it's just, oh, it just oozes that classic Nintendo charm that I really love so goddamn much. And I really think that you should play it. It's also not too long game, about 10 hours, maybe less than that if you don't get any, like, go 100%, but it's such a fantastic game, and it's still fairly cheap-ish, especially compared to some of the other obscene prices out there, but, you know. Yeah, I hope we get this, or a game like this again soon, because Kirby and having mechs and all these amazing, like, innovation with robot armor. Oh yes, I want more of this, please. Coming in at number 7 and number 6, they're 2 games in the same series, because I wanted to put one in the list originally, but I couldn't decide in the end, so I'm going to go with both of them, and that's the Etrian Untold games, the first game and the second game, which I've held the wrong way around, and yeah, but it doesn't matter, because both games are great, they're on equal footing. Etrian 2 Untold is the first time the second Etrian got released in Europe. These games have a beautiful visual aesthetic, really great story mode. Well, at least I think it is. Some people didn't like it, but their opinion's not valid in this video because this is my list. If you don't like it, make your own list. Really like accessible, innovative, like cartography gameplay. It's so relaxing, and you just go around these little labyrinths in the world trees, and just, oh, it's just so beautiful to relax in, and then just you get ambushed by enemies, and it can be really hard when you want it to be, and just, yeah, it just feels like you're truly being sucked into another world playing these games, and that's what I really like about them. And yeah, these are truly like classics. and the original DS versions these are based off have been announced for Switch and PC at the time of this video, so they're getting remastered. Visually, they'll probably look very similar to these, so hopefully that immersion was there, but the story modes aren't being transferred over, which is a shame, but that aside, these versions still hold excellent value to me, especially with the story modes, and they're really good characterization, especially in the second game, but I'll always prefer the first game because, well, that was the first one I played, and you always have a soft spot for the first game in a series, just like I have a Kingdom Hearts 3D, which, yeah, so these in Kingdom Hearts have that in common, so yeah, definitely check these out. I highly recommend them, whether here or on Switch or on PC, but not on full price if you get them on Switch and PC because overpriced. Especially you get the physical copy because physical for life. Coming at number 5 is another classic game. This one is also available on another platform, but this 3DS version is arguably the definitive version, depending on who you ask, and that's Dragon Quest VIII Journey of the Cursed King. So this has got quite a simple setup. You're the protagonist who's basically travelling with the king and his daughter who are cursed, and you've got to go around and solve a way to get rid of the curse. And it's classic role-playing. Back in the day, this was what introduced Dragon Quest to Europe. This version, unless you go down the road of mods, you will have to deal with like decreased visuals compared to the PS2 version and no orchestrated music, which is one reason why people prefer the PS2 original. But I prefer this version because, well, firstly, that stuff can be fixed with mods, and secondly, it's actually a lot more accessible. Like, the grinding has been reduced significantly. You got new characters and new content you can unlock. It just plays so well. It's been lovely, modernized and brought up to date, and I hope one day that we get this ported to another platform, this version, get the definitive content all together, and just make such a beautiful experience, such a lovely, vast world. And if you get this game, it will last you a long time, and there is really no better place to start, except Dragon Quest XI, than this game in the Dragon Quest series. So definitely get this one. And also, as I mentioned in my other video that I did the other week, it's cheaper to get the European physical copy. Just saying. Coming number 4 is an import title, and that's Slime Mori Dragon Quest III. There's a huge charm about this game, which is really difficult to describe without referencing the previous entry in this series, which we got in the West under the name Dragon Quest Heroes Rocket Slime for the DS. It's basically that, but better. Cute tower defense, and action going around the world and picking up enemies and monsters to recruit them. And of course, with this entry, you've got ship battles, which are really cool, a world map with a really cool like 3D effect as well, with the whole game. I love it, and I really wish we got this localized officially. It does have a full fan translation. I'm not playing it with a fan translation, but it exists. So you too can play this game, and I highly recommend you play this game because it is great. And more love for the Dragon Quest Slime, because look how cute he is. Dragon Quest Slime, in this series known as Rocket, but I'm calling him Slime because, well, they're slimes. Coming at number 3 is, well, a Monolith soft title, and there's not many to choose from on the 3DS. So you got, well, Xenoblade 3D, Project Cross Zone, which is up here in the honorable mentions, and the sequel, Project Cross Zone 2, which is basically, let's make a sequel to Project Cross Zone, which is on the shelf there, combining characters from Namco, Capcom, Sega IPs, and from guest stars for Nintendo, which you see them bright and clear as day on the box art, and have this adventure. You go through worlds trying to work out what's going on and basically fix everything. And it's just so cool the way these characters interact, and the strategy RPG gameplay is also fantastic. It's easier than other SRPGs to get into, and it's really just so cool. And especially when you've got all these characters, and you just see everything mixed together, and it just works. Like, it doesn't always make sense plot-wise, but then again, a game like this is never going to 100% make sense plot-wise. But it's just such a huge charm about it, and I love it. And I really sincerely hope that we get a Project Cross Zone 3. At the time of making this video, Batten Kaitos 1 and 2 Remaster is coming to the Switch this year, and that shows Bandai Namco and Monolith are still indeed continuing to work together, so I have hope that we'll get a Project Cross Zone 3 at some point in the future, which I want to see, and have even more Nintendo characters in it. So yeah, more Xenoblade rep please, which it's going to be fun. And also, this game is the best in the series because it fixes the flaws of the first Project Cross Zone, which mainly relates to pacing, and also, well, further improves some previous games which are not on the 3DS, so I'm not talking about them here, but yeah, definitely check this out. This one is expensive now, so I would suggest to just go down the emulation route. Number 2 is the last port on this list. Yep, there's a lot of ports in this video, but I've tried to do exclusives. But this game is fantastic, and it's worth playing no matter the platform, and that's Radiant Historia Perfect Chronology. This has been compared to Chrono Trigger because it's got a time travel story, and it's very traditional in its design, and it's easy to see why. This game is fantastic, the story is gripping, it hooks you straight away. The visuals are really cool. I like the new portraits, but if you don't like them, the old portraits are also available. And the music as well, Mura, so, you know, fantastic. And it's just so fantastic. It just nails it so much. And it's a modern classic. And I hope it gets a port one day to modern platforms, because like all other Atlas games, it deserves to be on more than one platform. The DS version, from what I hear, is still really good to play, but that didn't get released in Europe officially, so you'd have to import that. And this version also has accessibility features, so really easy story modes you can just breeze through, which if you're looking for a great story, this game has you covered. And so you can, if you want to just play the story and just play it on easy, just do that. It's fantastic. And yeah, it's just so fantastic, and I want more from this kind of world. And even then, like, it just works great as a standalone game, so can't go wrong with this. Hope it gets ported. It's fantastic. Coming number 1 is Mario Kart 7. So I was actually debating whether or not to put this lower down the list, and there was a reason why for that. And especially compared to the kid, like when you play, like, when I since playing Mario Kart 8 and then Mario Kart CDGP, this has been kind of dated in comparison. Like, at the time, this introduced so many iconic things, like the glider, the underwater diving, the motion controls and the steering, which they're all really fantastic. The tracks are great as well, but also, like, I think compared to like other games, it was probably a step back, and especially now, if you play it in official capacity, it's largely been ruined by hacker. Like, it even got patched a few months ago because of people hacking it, and as a reason why, like, a lot of my number 1 initially was about childhood nostalgia, because I played this game so much as a kid. It was amazing. It's like the system seller for the 3DS for me, like new Mario Kart for all time. It's fantastic, and yeah, just so many memories. The 3D effect on these tracks are absolutely incredible, and just, yeah. And of course, I'm going to give a shout out to CDGP 7. This is the fan mod for Mario Kart 7. That is a sequel to CDGP, which I've been playing, which has easily brought new life back into this game. And too much to go into here, but it just basically adds so many improvements, and that's in the end why I decided to keep it as number 1, because this game is on its own is fantastic, but when you add in CGP 7 and other content related to that, it just really goes above and just makes this really old game like so fresh and brand new, and that's what I love about it. Not just the whole, like, the core gameplay is amazing, but when you add on the mods, that just gets even better. And even so, like, on the game itself, it made so many modern classics like, well, Melody Motorway, or Music Park 2 Americans, Piranha Plant Slide, or Pipeway. Oh, look at me, I'm now parroting the American names. And just, yeah, this didn't quite go the way I expected now, because here I'm talking about Mario Kart 7 is my number 1 and my favourite 3DS game, but now it's a case of, oh, now it's better because I'm playing it with mods. But, you know, on its own it's great, with mods it's even better. Either way, check this game out because it's fucking incredible. So that's going to do it for this video. As you can see, I've got a nice variety of games here and in the shelf, as honorable mentioned and not shown. This isn't a final list, so to speak, but even a lot of games will probably stay because there's still so many games that are left to play. There's so many fan-translated games on the 3DS that I've yet to dig into. It has some other unlocalized stuff, which I'll probably, if I remember, to put some photos on the screen now of some games that I want to check out still and I haven't yet. If anyone's got any recommendations from this list or others, leave a comment below. If you want to tell me their favourite 3DS game, because the 3DS is amazing, I'm sure you have some incredible favourites too, please also leave a comment down below, because it's really fun to talk about games with other people, including you lovely people. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Want to show support for the channel? Like, comment, subscribe, algorithm boosting stuff, check all the links in the description. Thank you so much for watching. Have a lovely day. Bye bye.